too risky, and this is true. Also, there is GP's lack of record. Your team doesn't have any experience in managing technology fund. Your team doesn't have the appropriate track record. That means the success story that make us really comfortable to give you money and manage it. Also, probably you have a track record, but you don't have the good management practices in such a field. For example, biotechnology. You are good in telecom and IT, but this is a technology which is really targeting bio. Bio is not your field, so we cannot really, we apologize, we cannot really give you money. Other thing, lack of interest. We are not interested, neither into the region nor into the field that you are really targeting. We cannot give you money. Lack of government incentives. Everything is good, great, the team is good, but we don't feel that there is incentive that we can gain by being in that fund. The government is not really encouraging. You are lacking infrastructure, you are lacking many things, you cannot also give you money. There is also, nevertheless, it's a matter of network, and this is very important. Sometimes, regardless of all the points that I've been really mentioning, because we are in front of somebody we trust, we dealt with him in a while so okay, no problem, we can really give you some money. Otherwise, sometimes we cannot give you money. So these generally are what's in the mind of limited partners, to be able really to help you raise your fund. Let's go to the other side. We could raise a fund. Now, are we able and interested really to invest that fund or not? First and foremost, I mean the VC generally, what they look for exit possibilities. We are going to invest, it's okay, but are we going to divest? Is there any possibility that we get reimbursed? Through, I mean, the stock market, through trade sale, through a merger acquisition, through something of this sort. If there is no possibility for exit, we don't invest. Second, limited partners' terms are binding. I'd like to invest, but the terms with my limited partners, those who gave me money, they told me I cannot really invest in solar energy. This project is brilliant. But the terms with my investors are limiting me really to invest. I cannot. Third, weak deal flow. In this market, there is no enough projects really to be able really to, so I'm not really obliged to accept the few projects which come to me. I have really to be selective. The weak deal flow cannot, sometimes, you know, it happens that you have a brilliant project. Of course, you invest if you find that all the ingredients of success are there. Entry barrier very low. Everybody can copy you. It's very simple technology. I don't like really to take a risk to invest with you. Fourth, the market need is low. There is no burning need. The people are not really queuing in front of your company to get the product. So I don't invest. I'm sorry. Because the market will give me the return. And the return is extremely vital for me to be able really to raise my second fund, third fund, etc. So I have really to invest in something which can bring return, and the return, and they can give it back, I mean, to the investors. So weak or a market need, which is very low, is a very weak element which can really encourage me to invest with you. Lack of management skills is very important. Like the limited partners who are likely to see, I mean, the fund management team with high skills to be able to manage their money, it's exactly the same feeling that we have when we'd like really to invest in a startup. If the team is really having the right skills to be able really to manage the company and to manage our participation in the company, of course, we can give money. If there is no, of course, it's not always that we reject, but we can either bring a CEO or make a coaching of the team, or we have really to do something. If the team is not open for that, we don't invest. Missing IP legal framework. We are investing in technology. We'd like really to invest in technology. If we don't have the skills of intellectual property, of the technology diligence, we are afraid to invest in technology. And probably this is one very, very important element why I'm going really to speak later about a model, which can really secure, this element. So if you have that fear, if you don't have the expertise, if you don't have somebody who's extremely knowledgeable on how really to tackle the intellectual property and technology issues, unfortunately, we don't invest. Bad timing. Sometimes, you bring a product when the timing is not good. The market is saturated, or there is a political problem in that market, or the timing is bad, so also we don't invest. Lack of interest, like anybody, if what you are bringing to us doesn't meet or fit with our interest, also we don't invest. So just keep all these in mind to be able to understand, the culture of those who have money and willing, to invest. Generally, this is this scheme, the chart of the multiple stages of investment in technology, from the idea to research and development, to prototyping, to the creation, to the startup. Between creation and startup, there is one client. A startup, by definition, is a company which has minimum one client. That means there is a market. There is a beginning of a market which can, you can grow through, other investment. Growth and development and maturity. For the first, layer of investor, we find the 3F, friends, family, and fools. We find the angel investors. We find the government grants and subsidies. And we find the corporate VC and PE, who are willing to invest in all the stages. We are really speaking now here probably about the idea and R&D, where there is no many institution or individuals who are really willing to take that venture and to invest on that stage. However, friends, angel investors, government, subsidy, government, corporate, they can invest. Of course, corporate, you understand. If today, for example, Glaxo is really interested about developing a drug, of course, they start from the beginning, from the first 10,000 molecules to identify one of them and grow, and develop all the process for that molecule that they identify. So they can really do it. But unfortunately, as you know, today the trend is probably less research, more acquisition. So anyway, so we'll see, what will be happening in the next years. But this is generally the frame. And then you find the institutional investors. VC, PE, seed funding, etc. They invest generally starting from the prototype. And the prototype is a proof that the idea is really working. Prototype is really working. The technology is really working. It's good. So you can find the seed fund, who is really willing to invest. So this is good. Then you have later stage, which is the banking. So the bank will intervene sometimes, but they start generally from the startup. They can really give money, and et cetera, et cetera. Stock market, of course, in our part of the world, in the Arab world, they came in the really late stage. Of course, I cannot compare in the US and some other, in Europe and some highly developed countries. You can find, a company which can raise, in the startup phase, can really raise funds from the stock market, NASDAQ, and others. So just also keep this in mind. In order really to fill the gap on that, government are really taking some actions. And here is an example that we have in Tunis, for example, is that, for example, for helping startups in IT, really creating their business, the government is really encouraging very, very much, the companies. 50% capital, 50% soft loans. In the capital, the government is really giving 48%. Very, very soft equity. Very soft equity. And then the entrepreneur, the VC, will also give almost 48% participation in the capital. And the entrepreneur and all the team will bring only 4%, which is very, very encouraging. For young people who doesn't have, sufficient capital. They have, of course, intellectual property. They could have a patent. But unfortunately, in our part of the world, I speak in the case of Tunisia, if somebody is bringing a patent, I'd like really to participate with this patent to the startup. It's not acceptable. You know why it's not acceptable? Because we don't have accountant in Tunisia, or even VC, who can value intangibles. So the government don't accept. They said, no, 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 bring money. And this is also among the challenges that an inventor or a brilliant techno entrepreneur is really facing from the first day. I have a patent. I'd like really to participate with the patent to my startup. I cannot really do it. So this is one of the model. The second one is this one. It looks complicated, but this is an excellent, I consider an excellent model that we have and we develop in Tunisia. And I'm really proud to say that I'm the founder of what we call the corporate venture capital in Tunisia. That means we are not really raising funds from financial institutions, but we go to corporate. We go to Saudi Telecom, we go to the post mail, let's say, service. We go to utility companies. We go to a petroleum company. We go to whatever company, chemical. Tell them, okay, give us some money. We'd like really to manage your fund in order to help your employees getting out, spin it off or out from your company, of course, if they are willing. If both of them are willing, both the employee and the employer are willing really to give this employee a chance to create his own startup and probably to subcontract, to the mother company. So we create this system from, this is the government is really backing, that there is a mother company which will back, will coach about what kind of idea could be really implemented. Then the spin-off desk, which can really help implement and assess the business plan. Then you have the fund management company, which can really do, all the diligence to see if the business will stand. And then we create the startup, and then the fund management company back again to be able to reimburse the money back to the fund. And you see, the fund below, which is in. So this system has been really set up in Tunisia, and the success is wonderful, is extremely very encouraging. You know why? Because those that we are going really to spin off are people who are really knowledgeable. They have good technical skills. They've been really working in the company for a while. They have an excellent network outside. They know really how really to manage business. It's not like, freshmen or young graduates getting out from the university, and so on and so forth. The success rate of the spin-off activity in the world in general is around 80 to 90%. Between 80 and 90%. In Tunisia is around 80%. However, for startup is between 10 and 20%. Statistically speaking, the first year, one company out of 3 survive. And the second year, one company out of 2, the risk is lesser, survive. That means in the first 2 years, one company out of 6 survive. However, in a spin-off activity, almost 4 companies out of 5 survive. So this is an excellent model that you can even here in Saudi Arabia, you can really duplicate. I will give you another idea, which of course I read these days about Saudization program that you have here. This program is an excellent leverage for employment. Why? Because the guy who's really working in his mother company, and when he's leaving the mother company, assume that his salary is $5,000. When he's leaving, the mother company can really hire 5 young graduates with $1,000 salary. When he leaves the companies, he will create a startup, as we see. While creating a startup, he can hire 5 young graduates. That means the fact that one senior employee, quit the mother company, it's a leverage for 10 young graduates who will be really employed in the market. And this has been really successful in Tunisia. I'm not really speaking from, I was the founder of this system. I managed it for 2.5 years, and this is something which very, very important to consider. So I'm still speaking about funding. Now let's move to technology. This chart, I get it from the World Economic Forum. It is a report which has been published in 2000 in the World Economic Forum in Davos. And the World Competitiveness Report the World Competition Report has been really studying the possibility how countries could really develop technology and why others cannot really develop it. What are really the missing ingredients here and there? And the chart is really speaking by itself. They develop, two indexes. One is called Technology Index, and the other is called the Creation Index. In the Creation Index, let's start with the fund, with the money, and to summarize what I've been really saying, is that they say for creating companies, there is a lot of countries that creating many companies, but the technology is absent. There is other countries that are creating many companies, technology and no technology, like in the US with 27 million SMEs. Not all of them are technology, so there is a big mass of companies being creating. There is other countries who are creating technology, but they are not really creating a lot of startups. Like Israel, I'm sorry to say. Country which they consider the environment is hostile. Many startups, they are producing technology, but in terms of number of SME in the country, there is no big number, very small number. Most of the technologies has been really commercialized outside. This is explained by this chart where you have the Creation Index. Business environment is good. I'm putting it in yellow, that means in the Arab world. This is true for the Arab world. In fact, this is true wherever in the world. But I'm putting the colors to reflect what's really happening in the Arab world. Yellow, that means it's fine. Everything is fine here. So business environment for creating SMEs is good. Nobody can really say the opposite. It depends, of course, from one country to another. Venture capital is ups and downs. There is some country which develop really the culture, the expertise, they find the professionals who can really develop, venture capital. Venture capital. That means the